Hi, everybody. Okay, so I kind of finished a movie a little while ago called Perfect. It was made in 1985. I found it on Amazon Prime. It stars Jamie Lee Curtis and John Travolta, and she plays a fitness instructor, and he plays a journalist who works for Rolling Stone and wants to do a piece on um, well, at first he says that it's not about getting the perfect body, but then he wrote the piece like that, and then she got mad at him because he lied to her. But as in all romantic dramas, it ends up good in the end. But it's just funny to see all these actors and actresses very young. Number one, and number two, just about they made a movie about the fitness craze of the 80s, which I think is really funny. But I do like the angle though. So it was a good movie. Like I said, it was kind of a trip to see Jamie Lee Curtis and John Travolta really young. Um, but I also saw how they are the same today as they were back then. The same attitude, same talent, and also the the minor stars in the film were Mary Lou Henner and Matthew Reed or something. Um, they played two people who were friends with the main woman, and they're a couple. And he actually proposes to her on her birthday, which is really nice. But then they have a friend, Linda, and they said some not so nice things about her in the piece. So, but okay, uh, he tried to make it right. Like he didn't want to put it in there, but then because they needed a story to go to press, then they reworked it and made it sound more salacious than he intended it to be. So then it's not able to. And then, of course, you don't see to the end that they did get together and stay together, I guess, because at first they meet, but then she's always skeptical of him. But it turns out because her story was she was a swimmer, a pretty good swimmer, and another reporter said, I just want to tell your side. And then he made a salacious article. So she was worried that John Travolta's character would do the same thing. So I understand her trepidation. It was just funny to watch because it's like she said, I don't trust you. I don't trust journalists. And turns out that he's the one journalist or person probably besides her friends she can trust. Yeah. Um, and the main point of the movie also for him is that he had a big story and they wanted the tapes of his interview. And because he promised the subject, he didn't give them the tapes, and they actually took him to court. And he said, I have the tapes, Your Honor, but I'm not going to give them to you because I promised him that I wouldn't give it to anybody. And they held him in contempt for a while until, I guess, until they had the court case against the other guy and found him not guilty. So then they released um, the journalist. Now, of course, they didn't use the real name of the journalist in the movie, but his name in the movie is Adam. So, and then the last scene is where Jamie Lee Curtis is picking him up, and you see her car, and then she stops, and then he gets in the car, and then they kiss for a minute, and then they kiss again. So I'm like, oh, okay, they got together. But it was really interesting because I'm sure I've said this in previous videos, but when I was growing up, I thought I was going to be a journalist. That was my first job I thought I was going to have. And so I'm still fascinated by journalism and the whole thing. You know, magazines, newspapers, the whole thing. So, yeah, this is kind of up my alley. Just with a twist. I didn't expect it to be like a fitness. I did read the description. I just didn't know they were actually gonna film in like a fitness club and stuff. You know? But it was still a good movie. It was a straight 2 hours, so it wasn't that long, and I don't know if it would hold up today because well, fitness clubs and whatever isn't exactly the rage. But if they change it a little bit to make it more modern, it might still work today because the crux of the story it still remains true that your word should mean something. If you promise something to somebody, you should either do it or not do it, depending on what the situation is. So I liked it. You should check it out if you have 2 hours. And hey, if you just want to watch people working out, you can watch it for that too. All right. Bye, everybody.